boys, Friday edition of Barn Burner. It is boom, it is retro here in the Tower Chrysler Studios. Happy Friday to you, Retro. How we doing?
It's a great Friday. Beautiful here in the
It
B-Town.
is, yeah. I was just looking. It is, you know what it is, because we're here in the Tower Chrysler Studios. It's good, it's car buying weather. Car shopping weather, at least.
Yeah.
26 degrees today, 28-ish tomorrow. Oh, mama, let's go.
Well, and you know what's coming.
Yeah.
Bad weather, right? It's like taking down your Christmas light, or your right, like,
That's right.
or how's that? Or putting up your Christmas light.
Something
You know
like that. Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Yeah, exactly. You wait. Shit, waited too long.
You wait, don't wait too long. Get over to Tower Chrysler, Consumer Choice Award winner, Calgary's favorite, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Jeep dealer. 10901 McLeod Trail South, towerchrysler.com. You can wait till it's cold and wait till it's miserable out there and then be like, why didn't we go? Why didn't we go when it was nicer to test drive one of those vehicles over at Tower? Or you could take our advice and just go and do it today. Or tomorrow. Or this weekend. Treat yourself. Go say hi to Serge and the folks over at Tower. They will treat you right. We have a football game last night to react to. It is kind of sort of the start of the Flames season as they are in Penticton, British Columbia. Beautiful spot to begin the young stars, rookies, whatever. It's the kids. It's the young men.
Future stars.
Yeah, future stars. And this day in hockey history for McLeod Law. A where were you when kind of a thing on this day in hockey history. But did you watch some football last night? Did you get a load of the Thursday nighter?
I didn't get to the end because I started in on my sleep apnea before I got right to the end. But I did watch some football. Cousins was a fan of turning it over early.
You probably weren't shocked to see that the Eagles ended up finding a way.
No, sir. It's amazing, too. 6 points.
Yeah, amazing. Because the thing of it is, if Jefferson hangs on to that ball at the goal line, the Vikings are not 0-2. I don't know what you think of the Eagles because they sneak by in a way in week one. Weren't at times impressive yesterday, but still let the Vikings hang around and could have been tied or going to overtime with that game last night. I'm not sure what to think of these Eagles just yet.
What is that rule there with Jefferson?
It's so stupid. Touchback, if you fumble it, like, let him say, okay, so you had it. If you never had possession, it's an incomplete pass. Has possession, fumbles it, going through the end zone, and it's a touchback, it becomes Eagles' ball. I don't know. I'm sure there's people who can really explain it to you, why it makes sense and why it's the way it should be. Feels like it's a lot, because you not only miss out on points, but you lose the ball as well.
Yeah, you've come way down there, the field. Put yourself in that position.
Call it, make incomplete if you don't want to give it to them all the way down to the 5 or the 3 or whatever it would have been. Anyway, or maybe I'm just sour because I had Jefferson in my fantasy.
Could be. How'd he do?
Oh, he was okay, but would have liked to
would
have
have made a nice. That's a big play.
Yeah, or give him the ball at the 1 and let their running back run it in or something like that. Their running back's horseshit. Brutal. They got worked. DeAndre Swift was brilliant after a lot of questions in week 1. I'm not sure that the Eagles have a running game. Well, they had a running game last night. And now the Vikes 0-2. Tough coming back from 0-2 in the NFL, Retro.
Is it? Is there a stat for that?
Oh, there's so many.
Lots of stats?
So many stats that would show that.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. It would probably blow your mind, yeah.
Didn't know there was that many stats.
34-28, the final, is how that thing went. Right, I tell you what, those odds makers, they know what they're doing.
Apparently.
Apparently.
They're real good at what they do.
Real good at what they do. Rookies, so what can I tell you about the rookie camp today? They've practiced yesterday, flew to Penticton. Today, it is a 8:30 Mountain Time start. If you want to jaunt over to CalgaryFlames.com this evening, It'll be streamed for you there because it's the internet. It's where it's at, right? All the cool kids are streaming. They're all doing it. A chance to see some of the young boys. Tonight it is Vancouver, the opponent, for the 8:30 game. Did you have a rookie tournament type of a deal when you first... so you get drafted by Florida. What's that first camp for you?
First camp, we were in Peterborough.
Peterborough Bullet.
It was old. No, the camps used to be the old school, right? Like you were put into 4 teams and you played against each other and you fought each other and you speared each other. And then they sent you off to an exhibition game. And then I got sent home. And then the second year, same sort of deal. We were in Greensboro. We just go, like nowadays they give you a practice. Back then, game. Put your skates on.
Get
game.
out there. Yeah.
Right. So I think it's way better. I remember who was I at the rink with the other day? Razor and a bunch of guys were laughing because down at where our kids skate is where the Sabres and the Canadians and there's, I think, New Jersey's in town. So they've got a big hockey, like a Penticton type of thing going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, they'd started having their practices for the kids. And back in the day, there used to be a 3-hour rule. I don't know if it's in place anymore because teams would just grind you for hours and hours. So the union finally got in no. Once if you can't get done what you need to get done in 3 hours, it's over.
That's enough.
Start the clock. Start the clock. We're at the rink. Start it. So you'd be... The world has changed. I remember Lindy Ruff playing in Buffalo. I mean, this would be the 2000s. So it's only 20 years ago, and we used to do the stupidest skates, a 15-lap skate. What? How is this relative?
Let's see your crossovers.
Yeah.
What are we?
7.5. So you did 7 one way, and then you're coming up the middle. You had to cross over, kind of a figure 8 the next one.
Yeah,
so you get to turn both ways. It was, whew.
Now, at the same time, they were probably very much aware that you guys don't train or didn't train then like players would now.
It's funny.
You knew you were coming to training camp to kind of get into shape, and maybe so did they.
A little bit, but like a 6-mile run has no bearing on being in shape for hockey. And all they ever cared about, you got the feel that the only thing they ever cared about was his body fat.
Yeah.
Because if you had a body fat and you couldn't do 2 laps, that's fine. It's okay. He's not fat. Right. That was it. So if you could get your body fat but not skate, you were good. Hey, 10%, 8% body fat. Way to go. Andy McIntyre. Hello, Andy.
Well, there you go. Somebody tell Retro his old teammate from the Blades, Andy McIntyre, says hi, just heading out hunting with a group.
First round pick. Was he a first? No, he was touted to be 3rd round pick to Chicago. And they had him penciled in. I remember it was a Sutter. One of the Sutters was coaching there. We talked about it years later, and they had him penciled in. And again, maybe went to camp out of shape. Shit the bed.
Come on, Mac. Sit-ups are free, right? Yeah. I remember, that was because I, as you know, back in the Sean Yakimission days, I would see a lot of this. Well, I should say a lot. I was very familiar with the Saskatoon Blades, and then start working and get to junior. Lots of Saskers out there, probably going hunting right about now. What do you think he's hunting for? Ptarmigan?
Elk.
Is it elk season? I know it's a bit. Did you ever, I never went hunting as a kid. It was never, my old man, we loved fishing. The old man would go hunting once or twice, I only recall, but it wasn't an annual thing. Mm-hmm. But man, for some people, did you get your tags? When are you going? How are you going? When are you going? What do you got to go? Oh, it's a big deal.
We didn't hunt, but we fished. We had a yearly fishing trip. I remember being 5 going my first fishing trip. Then we almost died because the wind blew up and we were too light to keep the boat down, flopping around, and Doug didn't have a damn clue what he was doing. So it was great.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Think of it now as a parent. What he must have been thinking having kids in the boat, and then the storm rolls in.
Young man, though. Young man, they started young back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Like they weren't mid-40s with 10-year-olds. They were 20s,
Spry.
right?
Yeah.
Like still full of piss and vinegar.
And dumb.
Yes.
So dumb. Too dumb and young to be having kids. Well, it's nice to know that people are going out there. Somebody says maybe they're hunting for gophers.
Lots
That
of
is
gophers.
a big deal out in Sask. Could be. Now, so you go. I'm just kind of going back to because I'm thinking of these rookies because this gets to be a grind.
Oh God,
They come to town. They do fitness testing. The golf event is not a challenge, but it's fitness testing.
It's a long
You're on
day.
the ice. You fly to Penticton. You play today, you play Saturday, you practice Sunday, you play Monday, and they have enough guys that not everybody's going to play, but still. Then you fly back, and then camp, you go right into camp.
Well, you pray you make camp.
Yeah. And there will be some. Think of a guy like Matt Coronado, who I think a lot of people feel like this is a guy that could, should, will be on the team, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how much they need to see of him. Does he play one of the 3 games? Does he play 2 of them? I don't know, but he's going to make main camp. You know that's going to be. I would think Hanzik probably is the same thing, although he's younger. But
well, if he can't make main camp, or you don't, it's not the end of the road. But
yeah. So he was just drafted. It's not to read it, but for somebody like, because I know Jeremy Poirier is injured, he's not going to be there. People were kind of hoping and looking forward to seeing him play. But for a guy like Coronado, play, come back, camp, hopefully survive cuts, camp. Another round of cuts, preseason games. There's 8 preseason games.
Again, they treat the guys better than they used to. They will. It'll be a long process for them, but I mean, my first year, my first year, the year I made it felt like forever.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm sure we started sooner. It wasn't mid-September. I'm sure we had, and I'm also sure they used to have way more exhibition games. I know there used to be like 12, I think, and they didn't care. Like there is supposed to be a rule that you're not supposed to play 3 and 3, but you can if you don't have enough guys. I can remember playing 3 games in 3 nights and just. Oh, it seemed like a forever thing, especially when you're on the cusp, right? Because you're stressed out the whole way. Because am I making it? Am I making it? You don't ever.
And where did you guys hold training camps?
We were in Greensboro, and then we were all over the east coast of Canada. We flew up to Toronto, and then out to the coast, and all over the place.
I remember, I think you were in the game when it was the Jets and the Panthers in Brandon.
That's
so
right.
That's for year. You guys, you were going all over the friggin' place. It's a little bit different when you're on the charter flight and you're going to Edmonton and Winnipeg and Vancouver, that sort of thing. Not bussing it into Brandon or wherever you were going back in those days. So but it's a grind. And if you can't handle that, then you're not going to handle the rigors of an NHL season. So maybe it gets you ready for that. When did you know that you were in? Not so much the final cuts necessarily, but for you mentally, when did you feel like I got a real shot? I think I'm making this team. Did it hit you at all before final cuts came, or how did that go?
I never trusted it. It might have been Randy Moeller retired, or Keith. Somebody retired because they couldn't do it. They were still listed on the roster, kind of thing, under contract maybe, but they were injured and didn't skate all camp. And then finally, they announced their retirement. So because I remember sitting in the hotel, I'd go to the rink and I'd come back and stare at the sheet, and there were like 12 defensemen. I'm like, holy F! I know I've got a chance, but these guys are veteran guys with contracts. Like, how do you displace them? Now, there was either the cap on players. What's the word I'm searching for? your roster
Roster size
was
limit,
way
yeah.
bigger. We carried 26 the whole year. So that was different too.
Yeah.
So you were like, maybe they'll keep 9. And I think they did. But one of the guys retired, and then they traded Dallas Eakins. Wait, no, they didn't. They traded Bob Bugner to Buffalo. And then I was like, okay, maybe. But I didn't trust anything till Doug McLean out of the blue. Still remember it was the blue line in the Panthers arena, the old shitty Pompano ice den. I know exactly where I was. Where are you living? At the hotel. Well, you should get a spot. And you're kind of
yeah.
like get a spot?
Yeah.
Because you also had you could play up to 9 games, right? Once you played your 10th, then it was, I forget how it worked, counted
Deals,
against your
yeah.
contract or whatever the hell it was. But so it was a while into the year. Yeah. Are you still at the hotel? Yeah. Well, you better go get a
good place.
Oh, thank God.
In hindsight, probably should have told whoever, Scroodland or somebody, you're going to move into his basement.
They made me get a billet.
Did they? Yeah, I guess they would.
They did.
Yeah.
Because Eddie was living with his folks. His mom was down there.
Yeah.
And I think Dvorak's as well. Anyway, there you were.
On the blue line.
Cocky as
in
hell.
Pompano.
No clue how this is probably boring for people, but I don't know how I played in the NHL. Like, I shot, I don't.
In what way? What do you mean?
Well, I never wanted the puck. Never.
Yeah.
Never. No, we played in Florida, and prior to Doug McLean taking over, Roger Nielsen had been there, and we weren't talented, so we played a trap system. My first shift at a training camp, I remember Scott Millenby yelling, "Trap, trap." What is this trap? And I'm like, this is wonderful. You don't have to move. Anyway, how you ever... I don't know.
Warner,
the point I'm getting
puck
at
mover.
is...
Great puck mover.
Yeah. I don't know how... Especially nowadays. Back then, I got in the odd fight. And I didn't like fighting, but I'd do it and get in the odd fight. So you could differentiate yourself that way. But I really don't know how or what you would have to do to be noticed or for them to view you as capable of playing. I think it's way harder today for kids because all of them seem skilled. All of them. And
totally different game. You're right.
All the similar styles of games, and there's such an emphasis put on skill. I don't know how you stand out.
But you were...
Go watch the game tonight.
Yeah.
And there's always the higher end skill will stand out, but then there's a pile of muck. And how do you... It's like watching Timbits. How the F do you know?
Yeah. You just think back to how the game was, and I don't know if you're doing it to curry, to get fans interested, but if you're big and tough and, you're going to be physical, then maybe it gets fans. But I think it depends on what coach you have and what your philosophy is. Obviously, Jovanovski was going to be on that team. Would you say that your blue line would have been a bigger physical decor?
I don't... No, it wasn't big because Eddie was big, and that helped too. Eddie broke his hand the last game of training camp, so that did help to keep me around. Paul Laus was there, and he was tough as hell, but he wasn't big.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing that helped us, myself, a guy like me that year, was it was an expansion team that had been really old the first 2 seasons, and they needed to turn it over.
Yeah.
They needed to inject some youth. And probably Jovanovski was my biggest. I was one of the biggest beneficiaries of Jovanovski being there because we were friends and we got along. And I think that was part of it as well. Well, this guy that's going to be a star, is going to need somebody to hang out with. So you
were the baggage handler.
Yes.
You were.
Yes. What a choice. What a choice they made.
Well, you're probably selling yourself short because you made the NHL and you stayed there. So I don't think you do that just by being a good guy. You were
Well,
a
but it's
highly,
not to again. I would talk about my career. Who the hell cares?
but it's
I was
the time
lucky.
of year.
Gord Murphy broke his toe, hadn't been playing, and get in for the playoff. Get in the last couple games of the season, get a point, play pretty well, and then the playoffs start, and we go to the frickin' finals. Well,
Yeah,
without that, who knows?
yeah. I wanted. It doesn't feel like it's the same because that's always a story. If this didn't happen, if you didn't get this break, then maybe you never make it. I don't feel like it's the same anymore. If it ever was, that you would miss on somebody just because maybe there was an
You wouldn't,
injury or
but here
whatever.
it is. It's not missing on somebody. I mean, it is and it isn't. It's not. But the reason I say it's not missing on somebody, it's that somebody else takes their place. So you may not miss on a guy, but he may be. So in 2-3 years go by, if you've not made it, well, there's other kids that like. Who are we more excited about? This year's second rounder or the guy from 3 years ago?
Yeah, I know.
Right? Like
Yeah.
they fail from within.
And it happens faster now than ever.
Hell yeah.
You can get passed by so fast. And that's the one thing. You feel for somebody that either has a bad camp or gets injured in camp. If you throw a couple of those, well, my first camp, I was overwhelmed and I wasn't very good. And then I got hurt the next year. Well, I hope you've had a couple of great years in either your last year a junior or a great AHL season, because there's 2 years, there's 2 draft crops of guys coming in.
Yep.
And they just could be faster, they could be higher skilled.
Well,
how good was your team? Where did you pick in the draft? Were they high draft picks? You could be effed just because of where your NHL team stood in the draft.
Well, and where you stand for your next contract. Right? Like if they've got those guys for a few more years at a cheaper contract and you're no better, but you're due for a raise, well,
yeah.
I'll stay with the cheap kid. Ride it out.
On the flip side, and again, it's because there's
Nothing
not a whole lot going
talk
on.
about.
Well, there's some stuff. There's some
Jays.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Jays. When was the first time where you looked over your shoulder? Where you thought as a veteran, whether it's because of your contract or your age?
Not till Keenan, and I've said it to people that have listened to the show before. Keenan came in and I was the guy that he was going to make an example to the rest of the team with. He did it on every team he went to. I got lucky enough to be that guy. That being said, I wasn't playing well enough when I look back on it, and I wasn't going to be, you think I could have got a couple more years, but it wasn't the type of hockey I needed or should have been playing. And I didn't look, I never thought it was over till they didn't buy me out. Because Daryl said they were buying me out. And in the morning of the buyout, he called me back and said, we're not buying you out. And right then and there, I knew it was effed.
Can you explain why? What your thought process is there?
Well, if you get bought out, you can go to another team for peanuts.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to extend your career. You might not make any money, but you're going to go get a job.
But at the same time, could you not rationalize and say they're not buying me out because I'll play here? There's a chance.
No, because Keenan fucking hated me. Like he had no time or interest in, and I don't know what it was. It shouldn't have been the kind of guy that he didn't like, but
yeah,
whatever. That's what happened.
Yeah.
So, no. You knew you weren't going to get it. I knew I wasn't going to get a fair shake, and I didn't get crying over spilt milk. He wouldn't even fucking play me in the exhibition season two. I was in great shape. I had a great first game, and he didn't play me again. And the only chance I had was to play my ass off in the exhibition seasons and hope another team, maybe a guy got injured or picked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't even fucking play me. Pardon my language, but
yeah,
that probably pisses me off as much as anything. He wouldn't even play me. I remember being in Vancouver, go out for warm up. I need to play. It's the last exhibition game. I have. This is it. No, you're not dressing you.
Yeah.
And
what can you do?
Nothing.
You're not going to the G. You're not going up the ladder to.
Well, you'd already had that conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, get me out of here. You're 2.5, and guys haven't seen you play for 8 months. They're not going to take you.
Yeah. So then how did that, so that preseason, you didn't get into the last game. How did that all shake down then?
Wow, I needed surgery, so we went to the fucking team building thing. Clearly,
Yeah.
it's still emotional. We went to the team building thing, and we're sitting in Banff. And Daryl called Bubba, Anders Eriksson, my Simpson, sending them up, putting you on waivers.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not going to play in the minors. I'm going to get surgery. So,
Yeah.
so surgery it was.
Yeah. And what was that? Because you've talked a lot about your shoulders and how they still bug you. What was the rehab on like? Did you feel I'm going to get surgery, and I'm still going to play? I'm going to come back, and with injuries or depending on how guys are playing, I'll get back in.
It's a touchy subject because I think there'd be people down at the Dome if I told the truth that wouldn't, or my version of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That it's a gray line. Let's say that.
Mm. I wonder about, because we talk about how good the kids are. So how old were you then?
32, 33.
32.
Right on the cusp. I've said it. You go back over the history of defensemen in the NHL and look at how many guys, 33, done.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I was going to say, what's that age now?
Well, what are we talking about with Lindholm?
29?
Yes.
When are guys starting to, holy shit, there's some.
33 when I started was the holy grail.
You didn't get to UFA until 31.
Well, 31 was younger. When I first started, I think it was 33. It was like, oh, come to Jesus. Here we go. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Like floodgates.
Yeah. And then it all started to change. It was years of service and different things. And then obviously the first contract out of entry level, we see what it's done. But yeah, if you could get to your 31st birthday, then you could, I think that was as young or as soon as you could hit full unrestricted free agency and be able to hit the market.
Yep.
You're done by 31 for a lot of these guys.
Praying for deals. You better be an all-star.
Yeah.
You want to keep going after 31.
God.
And probably rightfully so. Again, you could probably scientifically break it down and prove, nope, you cannot perform at this level anymore.
Yeah.
Some people can. If there's always the one-offs, and there's a small percentage of guys that can. You take better care of yourself. You do this, you do that. But even that, everybody's doing it. You're not different by taking care of yourself. You think you stand out because you're in shape? Everyone's in shape. If you're not in shape, you're not playing. Like, it's not even a consideration.
Yeah, that used to be giving yourself an edge.
Yes, you show up at camp and you're, holy, look at you. We work out all summer. Look, a good job.
Yeah.
And now it's like,
what do you do now to give yourself an edge if you're one of those top prospects?
Well, when I started, 10 to 12% body fat. That's what you needed to be between. If you showed up at 12% body fat, they'd send you home.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. God. What do you do if you're a kid nowadays you work out every day, you're on the ice, you're eating right, it's vitamins.
I'll tell you, if there's a kid listening, you play with piss and vinegar and you play old school hockey, and you Ryder Bolton, Eric Bolton's boy, he just went and made London. Wow, he'd played in at the Junior Sabres program here. Nobody, just a guy, right? Well, Ryder plays, he can skate and he hits the piss out of people, not fighting, but he every check and he dumps it in with a purpose, and it's a boom. It's a Jordan Tutu type of style.
Yeah.
Hard to play. You want to get noticed? That's how you do it. And even that's becoming tougher because the refs and the league don't want hard hitting because of the injuries. But I'm telling you, if you need something to differentiate yourself with and you're willing to do it, that's the style. Are you telling me the Conroy and Iginla wouldn't be salivating if there were 3 kids that showed up here and played like Jordan Tutu?
Well, and you think back to last year, how did Walker Duehr stick on the line?
Yes.
He ended up scoring some goals, which was almost a bonus, but it was the energy that he brought.
100%.
But you're right, though, it's not easy.
No one plays with emotion and energy. That's how you differentiate.
Yeah.
If you think you're just, I had a skills coach and I did some stick handling all summer and I went through the cones and I'm doing. Like again, I don't know if this is boring for people to listen, but 14-year-old practice the other day. So we're doing skills and small games and all this shit, and it's fine. It's good. Well, then I made a real hockey drills, like compete stuff, like true hockey stuff, read and react, isn't it? Fucking kids fall apart.
Yeah.
You give them a puck and open space, they'll wow you. Awesome stuff. You make them think it and react to some contact and get involved. Shit falls apart real fast. Real fast.
And I guess that's why because some parents wonder, and we are getting off on a tangent, but just because one of my kids is kind of going through it, you have your skills portion where it's non-compete, it's time trials and this sort of stuff. It's like, well, what are you doing that for? I mean, I guess in some respect, it shows you what a player, what a boy or a girl, whatever, that's kind of where their skill is, that's what they're capable of. But then the gameplay, I mean, you're right. It's just some of them cannot connect the dots as to how the game works yet.
And even like I get a bee in my bonnet when I talk about the tryout stuff for the kids in Calgary and some of the systems at these organizations, and they are called organizations, right?
Sure.
What are they called? They're not academies. The different
associations.
Yes. That's some of the bullshit that these associations run for. It's a complete waste of an hour of ice time. And he went through the gates and he skated from the red line to the blue, between the blue lines and this. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. What are we talking about? Somebody told me the other day there was one of the associations. They had a kid get a pass from one's face-off dot and shoot it, and then turn the other way and get a pass from the other face-off dot and shoot it, and then go sit in the fucking corner.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Come
How
on.
are you applying that in a game scenario? Yeah. Oh, it's a fun time of year. Now, so has everybody, because I know your kids, I mean, your boys are kind of at a higher level, so those teams will have all been chosen. What the younger groups, are they still, because I got to be honest, I don't even know where.
Yeah, down here they do it different. They do the tryouts in the spring. So
Yeah.
It's completely
where things
different.
are at. But.
Yeah, and there's positives and negatives to both. But I have no idea in Calgary right now.
Yeah.
It's got to be getting close to being put on team time.
Sure, I think so. Yeah. Nervous energy for sure. So, and just I guess we'll finish up on your thing. So you make the team and say, hey, so you should probably go get a place. We've talked about this in the past too. There's no internet. DUG, they're not watching on TV. They have no idea. You're calling them periodically with updates, phone calls.
Yeah, probably like most boys when they leave home, not enough for mom, right?
Yeah.
I think I went to Detroit for 2 weeks and I never phoned once in the spring before. Like,
can you imagine now?
And then I came home and dropped my bag and left and didn't even say hi at the bar.
As a parent, your kid send your 18-year-old off to Florida.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're in Detroit? How did you end up in Detroit? Well, have you heard from him? No, and I don't know how to call him.
No,
you don't have cell phones.
No number. No.
Are you phoning Doug McLean? Hi, I was wondering about Rhett. Is there any way we can get a hold of him?
I think Doug phoned. A funny story. My old man phoned my agent and said, because I was down there. He's like, "Wow, what if he doesn't make it to practice on time and stuff?" And my agent's like, "What? Fuck." And he doesn't care enough to set an alarm. I don't know what you want me to tell you. You want me to call him every morning?
Yeah.
Like call the room? No, it's his responsibility. It is funny.
God.
No.
Yeah. Well, for all the kids out there, I hope you made the team you wanted to. And that's the other thing too. Kids, it's so hard because you have the team you think you should be on or the team that you really want to be on. And then if you make it, it's great. And then you realize maybe afterwards, boy, this was not so great. Man. I think that happens more
the one
than
thing
the other
I
way
wish
around.
For all youth hockey, and they do it a little more here. But back home there in Calgary, I just wish they let those kids pick a buddy, have 3 or 4, a list of 5, so that they're all on a team with someone they know, and so that they're on a team with maybe the family needs help getting rides for the kids,
Yeah.
right? Like to take that away is stupid.
Because I can tell you, my kids are a little bit older than yours. It happens so fast. You do camps in spring and camps in summer, and you're getting ready and sticks and skates. And well, where are you guys going to this? What? How many? Did you got ice? When's your session? When are you going? Okay, well he's on this team. Well, they're doing dry land, and then the kid again, 99.9% of them turn 18, and all of it is over. It's like, what was all of that worth? All of that stress and training and
Yep.
you're getting ready. Well, what team are you going to be on? Well, when are the evals? Well, how was your skate? Well, where's the evaluation? Over. So did you have fun? Yeah, I forget who I played with. That was that first year Bantam or was that mid? I don't even remember. Yeah. Oh, it was pretty good. Then poof, it's just all kind of gone. And it's hard when you're in it to kind of, because you know that's how it's going to go.
That was my parents' speech. My big point of my parents' speech. Only you people can F this up. The kids, they're not going to ruin it. But if you people overreact and screw it up, you're going to regret it. Because guess what? It's going to go fast. And these are supposed to be the good times. So let's do our best not to be idiots.
Yeah. My oldest boy played. And then obviously COVID hit and stuff like that. He went and played his last year. He put his bag down and hasn't looked at it since.
I know that feeling.
Spring of 2023, 2021, whatever it was. Final game, Cities or whatever the end of the SO is at Christmas, right? So it's Cities losing the final. Foomp, bag sitting downstairs. The only reason is because I move it when I have to find some stuff that's in the basement downstairs. He hasn't looked at it since.
Don't eat that shit. Kids out there want to play.
But parents, I'm sure your kid's gonna make it.
Absolutely.
Don't take my.
If they go to the right camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. You know what? I'll bring it up in the Pinder Report. I don't know if you've been following this Babcock stuff, but we thought it was over a couple days ago. It's not over.
What should be?
It's not over. We'll.
Is that because the news cycle's no good for hockey right now, and there's nothing for people? The people are starting to get excited. And...
You know what? We'll get into it. I don't think it's just that. You've got when the NHLPA is involved, and then the NHL is involved, and they're getting. I don't know how this one ends. I'll be totally honest with you. Hearing Loss Clinic. Hearingloss.ca is the website. There you see it. They can't make it more convenient for you. They got the website, hearingloss.ca. They've got 5 locations in British Columbia, 4 locations in Calgary, whatever works for you. And they are the very best. Again, I kind of joke about it that, well, I don't know the science behind it. There is so much. It's come so far, leaps and bounds. It's one of these, the technology gets so much better so quickly that if you went a year or 2 ago for a hearing assessment and it was, depending on where you were, you go again now, who knows where your hearing has deteriorated, but how much better the technology has become. I was blown away because I'm just dumb. I have no idea. But when I sat down and saw what they can do, it's crazy. I assure you, maybe you go in there, and that's the thing. They're not looking to sell you anything. Everybody wins. If you go in, you get an assessment done, and everything's great. They are thrilled for you. This is not one of those. You see them online, and you say, "Hey, well, you better get." They're just looking to get you gear. Truly, Rhodesy and the people at the Hearing Loss Clinic, they just want your best quality of life, and it could be for men and women of all ages, a lot of kids. You don't even think about it necessarily. Can't say enough. Get an assessment done. They are on your social media at The Hearing Loss for Twitter, Instagram at The Hearing Loss Clinic. Hearingloss.ca. Book yourself in. You will be thankful that you did. And I just know when it's like, oh, you are a candidate for hearing aids. You think it's well, this is bad news. And then you try these things out and like, this is great. It's the best news you could have gotten because you just don't realize how much you were missing out on. Hearingloss.ca. Go and get yourself booked in. We'll do the Pinder Report. It is a presentation of Village Honda, Northwest Auto Mall. Clear out continues on the 2023 Ridge Lines, the 2023 Passports. They got to make that room. They're rolling them out. Whatever it is they say. For 2024's new in-stock inventory arriving daily. Start your automotive adventures at Village Honda. New vehicle pricing, MSRP. And we were there a couple months ago. At least go have a coffee. Because they've got a great coffee machine at Village.
They do.
Whew. How do you like your coffee? What do you want? A little mocha? Mochaccino? What do you need here? Delicious. Village Honda. So, yes, the rookie camp begins today for the Calgary Flames. I guess it's the first game of the season. However you want to look at it, whether it's just the rookies or whatever, but guys in Flames jerseys will be playing against guys in Vancouver Canucks jerseys in Penticton, 8:30 tonight Mountain Time. You can watch these on calgaryflames.com. It is streaming digital. It's the way of the future. Right,
you could probably watch a lot of hockey because I think there's a lot of those types of camps going on.
I think there is, yeah. It wasn't they always have the one in Traverse City? Mm-hmm. There's some teams out there. Everyone's doing it. Everybody's doing it. So it's Vancouver today. Tomorrow, same time, 8:30, the Oilers rookies. Then Sunday, they are off. They'll just have the afternoon practice. Monday, it's Winnipeg in the morning. So a little, if that's your thing, 11 a.m. I mean, you'd probably be watching this show, in fairness. So sorry to the Flames for really cutting in on your numbers. But maybe you can split screen it. I don't know what. You'll figure it out. 11 a.m. is the game on Monday against the Jets. They then return home and then on to training camp. So yes, if you haven't been following it, I don't know what you call it. There is a situation with the Columbus Blue Jackets and their head coach, Mike Babcock. It all started with Biz Nasty. Paul Bissonnette on Spit and Chicklets told a story about how Mike Babcock was bringing in guys and wanting to see their phones to put pictures up on the AirDrop or whatever it is, the AirPlay on the TVs. And then a couple of players came out and said, this is being misrepresented, characterized all wrong here. It was just kind of, hey, would love to see what your family's all about. Babcock issues a release. The team does the same thing. And that was just a couple days ago. Felt like this thing was going to be over. Well, as it turns out, it's not over, as the NHLPA has gotten word that maybe it's not as innocent as they were led to believe by Boone Jenner and Johnny Gaudreau, that there are some younger guys who said, no, that's not exactly how it went either. So the NHLPA is meeting with the NHL, and it's not over yet. Now, this is from TSN Radio in Toronto, as TSN insider Darren Dreger joined their morning show today with this update.
Do you think there could be a scenario here where Mike Babcock could be potentially removed as the head coach?
Yeah, I mean, that's plausible. It is. I'm not saying that or is going to happen, not reporting that is going to happen. But at this stage, and based on the information that has been discovered and percolated to the surface in the last 48 hours, I think there's a chance of that.
It's a crazy world we're in, man.
It's not crazy. It's really simple. If he did it in a certain manner, as in, hey, give me your phone, I want to go through your pictures, he needs to be shit-canned. Mm. If he did it in we're having a conversation. Oh, you got two kids. Oh, yeah. I'd love to see a picture of the fam. I don't know. Is that the worst thing in the world a man can ask? Like, might not be what I bring up.
Yeah, it has to be somewhere in the middle, doesn't it?
Right. Like, and if it was the first case scenario, the kids, the players, I call them kids because they are kids. No. And sure, and he should be fired. Like, they shouldn't be showing him anything if that's the approach he's taking. It just seems odd that that is. Again, we don't know. We weren't in the room. If it's that way, fire him. Move on. Clearly, you've not learned. I don't know what you needed to learn from, but clearly you're acting oddly and inappropriately in a lot of opinion, and we don't need to deal with this. You're fired.
Yeah.
If it was the other thing, it should be dead and gone as well, right? Like, this shouldn't be such a big issue.
It felt to me, like I say, that this had all been kind of handled, that some leaders in the room came out and said, this is how it went down. Okay, fair enough. I can see how that would be a situation. But now we're 2 days later. And now Drager did say also in that interview that the NHLPA and the NHL were planning to meet as well at this time, but about other things. There was other business they were going to talk to, but all of a sudden this has gone to probably the top of their priority
list. The union's supposed to investigate shit like that too, right? Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
I defer to people that are close to it. It's a weird one.
Well, for me, Mike Babcock's been good to me. I've met him a handful of times. Polite, general conversation, both Saskers. I know people that have known him his whole life. They're family friends. High opinion.
Yeah.
I know guys that hate him. Literally.
Yeah. So
I don't have but what I was trying to get at was, did Columbus need to bring this on at all? Is Mike Babcock so highly regarded as a coach that you had to wait for that contract with Toronto to end and immediately go out and bring him in? Right? Because you had to know there was going to be some feedback on this, some pushback, some distortion, right?
Yeah. He's a Hall of Fame coach, though, right? He's a Hall of Fame coach.
Stop yourself, though. He's a Hall of Fame coach, and if you look back over his career, is he a Hall of Fame coach because he was a Roger Nielsen and he changed the game and people speak glowing and highly about him consistently? Is he right? Is he Pat Quinn or Pat Burr? Like, is the take on Babcock such that he's an undeniable talent and not renovator is the wrong word.
Innovator,
you know what I mean? Or was he handed the keys to the castle and coached some good teams? For me, it's the latter. I don't think I have no idea. I've not played for him, but I don't know that he's so good that he's undeniable and he has to be employed. I thought it was odd that he self-promoted himself into a $6 million plus a year contract.
Yeah.
Right. With Toronto, like all of a sudden he was going to, and in a way, good on him. He's he's a pioneer in that way for getting coaches paid, but his body of work doesn't scream we have to have him.
Yeah. I guess maybe I'm guilty of not paying close enough attention. Like, obviously there's ego there, and you'll hear all the people that don't like him. Yeah. That'll tell you what kind of a egomaniac, self-centered kind of guy. I don't know.
No. But if you're running a franchise, what's your job? And you're hiring a coach. What if you're into that shit?
What if you're in Columbus and you generally don't have a crack at those higher end coaches?
Bullshit. There's 32 jobs. You got John Tortorella came there, no problem. You got John Davidson that came. I don't think that there's, when you're in the coaching GM, like, players may not want to go to Columbus. Players may not want to go to Calgary. Players may not want to go to Winnipeg. Well, those players, they kind of do have options. If you're an NHL coach, how many jobs are there? Right? Like, you fucking take what's available. Mm-hmm. If you're an NHL GM, you ain't nitpicking. Oh, I'm not sure I want to go to Winnipeg, right? Like, there would be Cheveldayoff gets shit canned. There would be a long list of guys. Yeah. Yes, please. Absolutely. Love Winnipeg. Big Manitoba guy. Like, right?
And you think about where Jarmo Kekalainen is at now, that let's say this thing They don't have to fire him or whatever.
It's already
now you've got a coach who you have to feel like at least half your room
he's hamstrung already.
Already has lost guys in the room.
Well, I'm big on conspiracies. That's where I'm at with it. I'm at Columbus has phoned the league and said, "Can you guys help us?"
You think? Yeah. It's like how the hell camp
Right,
hasn't
can we-
started
can we
and
some-
already.
Yeah. Can we somehow come back to an agreement here where we'll give them half just to go away
Yeah.
because this is going to be a headache. Like and if you're Babcock and nothing comes of it and this meeting is a bunch of BS, which it could be that too,
Yeah.
how do you get the room?
I know. The whole thing, regardless of how it ends.
Because if you're walking around on eggshells, you that doesn't work. The guys will take advantage of you. If you're coming in harsh, it already appears that they're not going to put up with it, right? Like,
And if you come in and you feel like, if you're Babcock, I need to win the room back, how do you come across as anything but disingenuous?
Yeah.
If that's how these guys already feel about
they're
you?
interpreting, yeah. Hey, you got twins. I loved it. You got a picture? Let me see.
Yeah.
Listen,
And by
I
now,
can't be looking at my phone, all right? Like if that's your take
Yeah.
already.
all those players will have heard from so many guys in the hockey world. Oh yeah, that guy did this and that guy did that. This guy's it's a mess. I had no. 2 days ago, I thought it was done. I really did, and yet here we are. I wonder. I wonder if the best case scenario for the Blue Jackets is if Mike gets paid to go away, and they move on and get another coach. Not ideal.
Not
Now yesterday, go ahead.
Well, I'm curious, has there been further comment? I mean, Biz and Witt, they both basically said, bullshit, you're guilty.
Yeah, they've basically doubled down on it and said, no, this is, you can come out and release press releases and say everything's fine. We stand by what we were told, that guys were rubbed the wrong way by this thing. Whatever happened, they were not impressed. So, yeah. Showed you. And Johnny, why did you leave?
Yeah, you could have just stayed here. We're putting your number up in the rafters.
Yeah,
we don't have to deal with come on.
God. Yesterday showed you a video to kind of encapsulate and capture the spirit of what being a Philly sports fan is. It was a thing that was done online a couple years, or I guess last year during the baseball playoffs. They're passionate, they're invested, they care in Philadelphia. And I had said we saw video of people by 2, 3, 4 in the morning showing up to tailgate for the Eagles home opener yesterday. This is just a quick one. Now this is not good video. This is not funny, but I'll bring to your attention that it is daylight. And this is somewhere getting ready for the game. Not ideal.
Jesus.
Out. There's some young men, some fellas, they're having a bit of a dispute, and one guy puts the other guy to sleep. And they all seem to be cheering for the Eagles. So,
fly, Eagles, fly.
It does not look like that was a Vikings fan. I think he was wearing a... Anyway, Philly being
You
Philly.
wanted to go.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, what kind of a ball game? Jalen Hurts ran for a pair of touchdowns, 63-yard touchdown pass to Devontae Smith. Also had one that was called back as well. This close in the end. The Vikings do cover, if that's your sort of thing. 34-28, beating the Minnesota Vikings, who turn the ball over a lot. At one point, it was 7 turnovers in 7 quarters of their season. They fall to 0-2. They lost to Tampa Bay a week ago and then lose here. And already people are saying, well, maybe Kirk Cousins should get traded to the Jets.
J-E-T.
Jets. Jets. Next up for the Vikings, they've got the Chargers. Next Sunday, the Eagles will be in Tampa Bay. Justin Jefferson, heck of a player. Again, over 150 yards receiving. Did it a week ago as well. Has yet to score a touchdown. But, we could show you here. I don't know. It's you know what it is? It's a gratuitous shot at Chicago and the Bears. Bears had nothing to do with it. But after the game, this pops up. Justin Jefferson now has more career receiving yards than any Chicago Bears player in team's history.
Ooh.
So at the age of 24, he is already has more receiving yards than any Bear has ever had in franchise history. It feels like cherry picking, but, you know, there it is.
Truth hurts.
Yeah. And there's a...
Lucky us.
Hello, friends.
Did we accept the charges? Like, this feels like, is this long distance?
I apparently made a mistake by not coming on the show yesterday. I can't let you down 2 days in a row.
No, that's right. Yeah, that's so where are you?
I'm in Copenhagen. This is like an old shipping part of town that they've turned into this crazy like container food and cocktails and everyone hanging out, beach type place. It's pretty cool.
What have you been up to?
I don't know what to say.
What have you been doing?
We rented a boat today and just ripped around canals and then went for a big old bike ride and had a few beers watching the sunset over the ocean. It's pretty cool. Rhett, how are you?
How is your long-lost best buddy? Good?
He's good, man. He's good. We're going to go see his family tomorrow. I'm excited about that.
No,
And, he's got twins. I've got twins. Kids are around the same age. He moved from Vancouver Island to fucking Sweden. So that's a big move, man.
How does that happen? How does that...
He's really good at his job, Dean. It's like, you know, if like Orton Skoldsvik called you, they're like, we need someone to talk about hockey. We need someone in English to talk about. Can you please move to Sweden?
And
I
he,
don't know.
And he does video games. He's Mario Kart.
Yes. No, he's working on the new Star Wars series. Ubisoft, the game company, has got a campus in Malmo, just across the bridge from here in Sweden. And he's an audio engineer. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know anything about it, except that he's good at what he does. And Sweden came calling.
And Copenhagen. Thoughts?
Copenhagen. Man, it's deadly. It's a cool city. It's, like you've been to Europe a bit, Rhett? Like to just wander these big old cities that also have lots of new stuff too. It's just a totally different way to live. It's cool.
Are people more laid back there?
They're very happy here, Rhett. They're better than us. They're better looking. They have nicer clothes. They're better behaved. They're smarter than us. They have better lives than us. They're happier than us. It's quite impressive work they've done here.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to see one person that's obese here, but I'm up to about like 100,000 people and not one yet. I don't know.
I can look out my window and see.
Yeah. Look at my front yard right now. Now, have there been any Saskatchewan Rough Rider jerseys? Have you seen any of that?
I haven't seen one yet. I've been wearing my CFL hat today. Not even a single laugh.
Yeah.
I was going to tell people I was part of Randy Ambrosie's 3.0 initiative where they were like, oh, we're going to expand to Europe. You're like, what are you talking about, man? What do you mean CFL 3.0?
So, I mean, in some ways, Rhett has done this. Why don't we just step out of our regular life? Who says we have to live where we live? Why don't we just go and be crazy and go move somewhere? Now, Rhett chose Buffalo. Is Copenhagen or Denmark, Sweden, that kind of, is that the Baltic region? Is that the Baltic?
We're Nordic here. Yeah, Scandinavia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that an area where you could envision you living your life, your family there?
No, it's way too cold for my wife. The thin Aussie blood. If it's like 15 degrees and I got a shell on. Oh, they're very happy, but they're Scandos. They're not Aussies. Like it's
true.
She wouldn't swim here. There's people running off docks, swimming in the ocean. It's it's an adventure because it's not the life that we're ever gonna have.
How are the ladies?
They're polite and beautiful, and they have no interest in dopes like us.
Damn it!
No,
Because it was going well there.
I get it. No,
Yeah,
it's like
they're
everyone
polite
looks
and
like
hot.
Backlund.
Yeah,
And
and smart and not into idiots.
well, everyone here looks like they're like, oh, like what event do you do at the Olympics? Like, oh, it must be steeplechase or pentathlon or something. I don't know, because you're all just beautiful people.
Oh,
yeah,
high jumping and
how's
pole
long
vault.
distance swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Shit, we didn't even know about.
All right, so I know that your wife is heading over there. You're going for. So what's the next couple of days? Your weekend in Europe.
Yeah, so Copenhagen, really cool. Like explored a ton today, and I feel like I've seen a bunch of the city. We've seen it from the water. We've seen it from bikes. We're gonna go to the top of some buildings and see it from the air. And then it's like, all right, cool. I have like a vibe of what Copenhagen's all about. Not to say like, oh, I've done that. I know the city, but like, it's like I can feel what the city's about. We go to Sweden tomorrow, and then I fly to Rome early next week, where I meet up with Jody, and we make our way south for a wedding, which is going to be just bleeping epic. So we're living the good life here, Dean. Very spoiled.
Don't carve your name on the Coliseum. I heard it's a big no-no.
You got
Frown on
told
that?
or you heard?
Yeah.
I saw a news story that not good.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then
I
they
can
got your
believe
name.
that. I feel like, they're very proud of their history. It's
Have
like
you
there's-
found a
They're like, there's
speakeasy?
a relic from 1,000 years ago. They're like, sorry,
They have
Mr.
speakeasies in Copenhagen. Have you gone?
I'm sure they do. We didn't make it till 3 a.m. last night, so I think isn't that sort of the idea that you after hours?
How's
But no,
the
like there's
jet
all kinds of
lag?
little spots for a beer everywhere. I don't know. Like I didn't really sleep for about a day and 2 days there, and then I had a little nap today, and that felt like bedtime. It was going to be like I could have slept 8 hours. I needed a crane to get me up after a 90-minute nap. So I'm a little backwards, but you know me. It's the curse of too much energy. I can power through this.
It's too much something. Yeah.
I feel like you
Yeah,
are a
yeah.
European stuck living in Calgary. This is my interpretation of your life.
Sometimes it feels like that. Other times it's like, no, it's just a nice place to visit. But like, did you ever find a place like, how am I not here? Like, I think Australia kind of struck you that way in a bit, didn't it? Where you're like, whoa,
I loved Australia.
this could be a life I could live.
Yeah, I could have stayed there, but I tend to. I do that a lot. I loved Europe too. Italy, I'm like,
It's true.
duh.
Oh yeah.
Food, water, yes, please. Right? When I was in Oslo for the World Stars, I'm like, I could live in Oslo. Oof,
So that would be the most similar to this. Like, we're not far away from Oslo. You're on the same sort of like body of water. It's like not too hot, not too cold, and just like, yeah, it's the same type of people. I would suggest.
And Delhi. I could live in New Delhi.
I have not been to India. I don't know. That's a lot of
What's,
people. Dean,
Cape
don't go
Town.
to India.
Loved Cape
Yeah.
Town.
Cape
So
Town,
what
South
does,
Africa. There you go.
So Sweden, and then moving on. What do you have planned?
Yeah.
Stockholm, did you say? Or
No,
just Sweden?
Malmo, which is just a short train
Okay.
right away. Yeah, Malmo is like a city that's just across the bridge from here. That's why I'm here. It's close.
No.
And then we'll see my buddy's family, who I haven't seen for a couple of years, hang out. Might play a little padel or a 9-hole golf course, and then I'm gone early next week to Rome, and it's fast trains and pasta and wine and warm weather, because it's just like it's nice here and it's sunny, but it's not hot.
I think you're there working. I think you're trying to track down Mika Kiprasov. Rumors have
That's
it
right.
he might be in Malmo.
Yeah.
And this trip is a work trip.
Uh-huh.
Paid off.
Yeah.
I think I should expand this. You
Receipts.
mentioned that. Yeah.
Yeah. Save those receipts.
How many
All right,
Danish
Pinder.
kroners to a dollar? I better be right on these conversions.
Yeah.
I got.
Well,
I sent some picks in, so when you get your Betway segment, you'll
okay.
see my picks of the week. I've just guaranteed winners, obviously.
Perfect. Sounds good. Blue Jays are doing great.
So good, yeah. Definitely have woke up to some great news on that front.
Yeah, that
Good work,
splitting that series with Texas. It's gone really
No
well.
sweat.
Yeah, as you had talked about, so they're in great shape.
Well, at least
Behave.
it's not a lost season at all.
No. Behave. You're kind of representing our city, so do your best, would you?
Thank you. And good to see you both. We'll check in next week from a different country.
Sounds good. Ladies and
All right,
gentlemen,
boys.
Ryan Pinder.
Be good. See ya.
Yeah, there he is. I think he fancies himself as someone who could be European.
He does try to throw off that vibe.
He really, he's very fancy. But there's almost an equal amount of just dumb degenerate in him as well.
There's a lot of dumb degenerate in Europe.
Is there?
Yep. Whole bunch.
Well, maybe. Maybe he'll stay over there. Got one guy in Buffalo, one guy in Malmo.
One guy in his basement.
Yeah. Life's great.
What are we doing with this studio?
Money well spent.
I just sit in here by myself.
Yeah, Jack's there by
wallowing in
himself.
his Steeler misery.
Yeah, it's like, is George Pickens really mad at? Is he really mad at Kenny? This is not good, man. So we were talking about Thursday Nighter. I guess just the one last note on Justin Jefferson. So already better than any Chicago Bear ever. And there you see it. The only players in NFL history with 5,000 or more career receiving yards prior to their 25th birthday. Randy Moss, Justin Jefferson. That's it.
How did they get Justin Jefferson? Was it because of the Diggs trade?
I'm not, I'm not sure. He adapted very quickly. And you know what? Was kind of a late bloomer on, I think, because it was Amazon Prime. I saw there was not a documentary, but there was a story done on Justin Jefferson, who in high school, good player, but not necessarily even the best player on his team. And then I'm not sure what it was. Maybe it was eating more salads or whatever it was, but then came on very quickly. But he has been dynamite.
Stephon Diggs was traded by the Minnesota Vikings to the Buffalo Bills in exchange for 4 draft picks, including a 2021 first-round pick. I think maybe.
Oh, I'm sure it's got to be him then.
Son of.
If Buffalo is involved in any way, shape, or form. We mentioned the Blue Jays. Kind of digging in on Ryan. Before we tell you how they did, maybe you can get a sense as to how things are going by the cover of the Toronto Sun newspaper. Again, taking on the Texas Rangers.
Oh.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Fans scream bloody murder as Rangers carve up feeble Jays to complete sweep. And then a couple of the writers with the gory details. Not ideal. And just another layer. There were plenty of memes. Ryan's better at the meme game than I am. There was one more here. It's like the Spider-Man meme, but it's from Scooby-Doo.
Like that.
Let's see who you really are pulling off the hood. Oh,
I like that.
You're really the Toronto Maple Leafs in Blue Jays clothing. Corey Seager had a home run and a 2-run double. The Rangers beat the Blue Jays 9-2.
Close, at least.
Yeah, nail biter. The loss dropped the Blue Jays to a game and a half back of the idle Seattle Mariners. Now, they trailed 4-2 heading into the 8th and promptly gave up 5 to put it out of reach. So you can see there the run differential. In the 4-game set, Jays were outscored 35-9 for a minus 26 run differential. That's third worst of any series and the most ever in a 4-game set. So it's been worse. but not by much. Worst 4-game set in franchise history in terms of wins and losses and runs, if that's something you take any stock into. So not out of it, but yeah, they could probably stand to turn some things around. Cavalry FC. They host Vancouver tomorrow at Atco Field. Vancouver last in the CPL. They've won just 5 of their 23 games. Cavalry top of the table, as we've been talking about. 6 points clear of Pacific FC. They sit second. Cavalry unbeaten in 5. 3 of their next 4 at home. Got them right where they want them. Right where they want them. Game time tomorrow at Atco is 3 o'clock. And as we were saying earlier on in the program, it's supposed to be beautiful weather. Beautiful weather. Get over to Atco, cheer on Cavalry. Tommy will be dressed to the nines, looking sharp. The jacket will be off for sure tomorrow. He'll still be maybe in his, the summer ensemble, probably still very much in the mix for Tommy Wheeldon. But that's going to do it for the Pinder Report, a presentation of Village Honda, located in the Northwest Auto Mall. The huge selection of used vehicles. All makes, all models, all budgets, over 70 units on site, access to over 400 more in their dealer group. Village Honda truly is your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary. Worth the trip and your dealership for life. Check out more at villagehonda.com. You can click that little QR codey thing. Is that what they call it, a QR code? It'll take you right to the site.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Those things are amazing, eh?
Amazing stuff.
QR codes? Crazy.
Did you see the James Webb thing?
No.
It zoomed in on some planet, and there might be signs of life.
Ooh. Is that like the aliens? Didn't they find some alien...
There's been a lot of talk about the alien stuff.
Hadn't there been?
Few months, yeah.
Wasn't it in Mexico or something they found some... Hey, look at these aliens. I don't know.
Anyway.
You believe in the aliens? They're kicking around?
I don't know. I don't disbelieve in it, I guess. I like conspiracy stuff.
Laughing at us, pointing at us.
I like a good conspiracy. Make you think.
You're sucking up to the aliens. I like them.
Good things.
They're great people. Now, I forgot yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
About Aussie Brad.
Oh God.
Now, Jack, what do you want? Do you want to do NF? Do you want to do our Betway picks, or do we want to do some Aussie Brad here? What are you more prepared for at this point?
I got the picks ready to go. I think we end with Aussie Brad, and that's it.
Okay, we'll end with Aussie Brad. We've got. Let's do the picks. We've been talking about the picks, and then I got a nice little thing for you, and then we'll do some Aussie Brad, and we'll call it a weekend. Betway, get the Betway app on your phone, the official gaming partner of Barn Burner and FlamesNation, FlamesNation.ca. Last week, did we all go 2-1? Except Jack.
Well,
sorry, Jack.
Yeah, Jack.
Sorry, Jack. But everybody else going across the board at 2-1. We'll see if we can keep our nice little roll going. Start us off, Jack, wherever you would like, as we get into week 2 action minus last night's game. I know that aren't the Steelers a Monday nighter this week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll see if did they factor into Jack's picks. I can only imagine.
There's a couple. We'll start with Ryan here. He's got a video for us.
Here's Pinder's picks.
Pinder here, back in Lethbridge, Alberta. Is it beautiful? Yeah, it is. NFL picks of the week. 3 teams that lost week 1. I like to bounce back. Buffalo, I've been telling Rhett, don't overreact to week 1. They're laying 8.5 points at home against Vegas. That was 9.5 just a few days ago. I like 8.5. We're going to jump on that. Also, Cincinnati looked awful week 1. They lose to Cleveland in the rain. They're at home to Baltimore, dinged up. We like Cincinnati minus 3.5. And my final pick of the week, who else do I like? Got it written right here. Denver. Oh no, Fig Jam Russell Wilson. And the Broncos, they lost to Vegas week 1. They bounced back in a big way, I say. They got to lay 3.5 at home to Washington, where Sam Howell's been no good at quarterback. 3 teams at home, 3 teams 0-1, 3 teams bouncing back.
Looking at his feet.
So there you go. 3 Is it Cincinnati at Baltimore, or is Baltimore in Cincy?
I think Baltimore's at Cincy.
Yeah, I do too. So 3 home favorites. Denver -3.5, Cincy -3.5, 8.5 for Buffalo. That line has moved around a fair bit. I've seen 9 out there. A lot of people feeling, though, that it's a big number to lay, but feel good about it, Retro, because I have a feeling you're probably going Buffalo. Anyway, so those are the Pinder picks after going 2-1 last week. Moving on to our next group, our next selection of picks here. It's Rhett's picks, in fact. Buffalo, -8.5. You have also got Cincinnati, -3.5.
Well, they're not going to be shitty again.
You wouldn't think so.
No.
Baltimore, of course, they lose J.K. Dobbins in week 1. So it's Gus the Bus. Or Hill, I guess, at the running back spot.
And I've really tried to simplify my life, things that I can rely on and be confident in. The Bills being one, and the Steelers way overhyped from the start of the year throughout. So this is going to be a regular pick of mine. Cleveland will go into Pittsburgh and beat up.
Now,
I got some stats for you, Rhett.
Is it because how you feel about the Steelers, or is it because Jack is a big Steelers
It's like
fan?
most people voting nowadays, they just hate the other side, so
Yeah.
you just whoever's against them.
Yeah. Now, Jack, the resident Steeler fan, you go ahead. You stick up for your... Jesus.
Buffalo.
So yeah, I'm with Ryan. Yeah, I think Buffalo bounces back at home. Josh Allen, rough week 1. Diggs and the boys, they'll get back. I kind of feel like an idiot here picking San Fran -7.5 because of what I said last week, but I'm on the trade now. Brock Purdy looked pretty solid.
What did you say last week? Why do you feel stupid?
I basically just ripped the Niners. I said Purdy sucks. Their defense is overhyped. Turned out it was the complete opposite. So if they can beat the Steelers by 30, they can beat the Rams by 100. San Fran -7.5. And finally, Cleveland going into the Steel City. Okay, I got some stats for you guys here. When do you think the last time the Browns beat Pittsburgh in the regular season?
92.
I'm not going to guess. I'm just going to let you. You should really just throw these out as...
2003.
Oh my God. What? That is unbelievable.
Well, they're due.
Okay.
They haven't started 2-0 since 1993. And the Steelers have won their last... Yeah, the Browns haven't started 2-0 since 1993. And the Steelers have won their last 20 home Monday Night Football games. Steelers +2.5, and they're going to win.
Winning outright. All right. There's the Jack picks.
There's Matt
1 and 2
Canada
last
for
week.
some luck.
Yeah. They're really loving on Canada, aren't they? He's really...
Oh, yeah, they love him.
So now, are you buying into, because there was a whole controversy this week that George Pickens, they saw him on the sideline and they were able to read his lips, and it was something to the effect of, "Man, I like it here, but this, oh God, this is no good."
Yeah, this isn't it.
And then he liked some social media post that kind of talked about how he was great, but it wasn't going to work in Pittsburgh. He liked that on Instagram. Are you at all concerned?
Yeah. Listen, the guy's a ticking time bomb for sure. Like, he was like that at Georgia. Just get him the ball, make him happy, let him score, and I think it'll be okay. But if this turns into like some Antonio Brown thing, then get him out of here.
Did you see, sorry to change the subject, well, you wouldn't have saw it. On YouTube, they have a video or something about the Alabama's football locker room. 80 million?
Yeah.
It's I started watching it and I got sick to my stomach. I'm like, how do you go back to regular life after that? Like, it's unbelievable.
The only thing is that they wouldn't be getting paid, right?
No, we can't pay the kids. How would we afford it?
Yeah. When you're a student, you're not an athlete. No preferential treatment. So that would be the only thing that might keep them grounded. Finally, we'll go to my picks. Miami at New England. This feels like one of those things where I don't know that I feel it, but it's gone from 2. It's +3 for New England. Bill Belichick coming off a loss. Everybody's loving Miami. This feels, I don't love it, but I do feel it in my bones. So I'm going to take New England and the points and hope that it's a push at worst. Seattle is in Detroit. What happened to Seattle in the second half last week? Geno Smith, the offense, went completely in the tank. Detroit, yes, what did they do in week 1? Well, they've had a couple extra days off, -4.5. This has come down from 5.5. It's enough to suck me in. So I'll take the Lions at home. More Jahmyr Gibbs. More Gibbs this week, likely on the ground. Go
Sam
Lions.
Laporta.
That's right, your boy. And Dallas and the Jets, it's a big number. But Dak did very little because he didn't have to in week 1. The Jets, as we know, good defense, but I can't imagine what that offense is going to do aside from running the ball all night. And maybe they do. But I feel like the defense alone has got to be worth a touchdown. Can they find another field goal along the way? I'm going to take Dallas. I'm going to lay a huge number, -9. So I've got the Patriots +3, Lions -4.5, Dallas -9. Those are my Betway point spread picks. Get that Betway app. Can't telling you week after week. Get it in there. Get it in your life. Get it on your phone and bet the responsible way with Betway. Lots of great looking props too this week. I don't think I had the Vikings. What? No, I had Eagles 6.5. Did I not?
Yes, you did.
Eagles 6.5. And what was the Hawkinson? Because I know he had 2 touchdowns.
49.5 yards.
Yeah. And then what did he end up getting?
Did he hit the under?
I don't know. I took the under there. Either way, that's what makes it all fun. Get that app. Play along. I also would have had a nice little parlay thing going. That A.J. Brown touchdown, if it would have counted.
You play a lot of the if games.
Well, it was an A.J. Brown anytime touchdown, and he caught the friggin' ball in the end zone. Just some asshole was holding or something. Friggin' O-line. Have you watched any of the, or have you taken in any of that, the Kelsey
No.
podcast? It's
Last
so
night.
good, dude. Because now they're on Amazon. They've got the documentary type of thing. But even the podcast thing that they do together, it's really good. It's really good.
I'm so fake busy, it's hard to get to stuff.
All right. Do we have the
Aussie?
Well, we have the Aussie. Do we also have the McLeod Law there, Jackie boy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that one. McLeod Law felt bad. They had a nice little soiree the other night, retro. You would have been so impressed because I saw on their social media at McLeod Law LLP. If you go to Instagram, they had a nice little soiree, a little client customer appreciation thing. Charcuterie boards, top shelf. So many salted and cured meats.
Really?
You'd still be asleep. Days later, you would still be lying down.
I'm okay with that.
God, so good. Call Peter Klein. You know he's the personal injury guy, but we've been telling you, he's also the go-to guy for your disability insurance claim. If your long-term disability insurance company, if it's an issue, you're just not paying you, they're not coming through with the deal that you signed up, contact Peter. He'll get you those benefits, and he'll get that peace of mind back. This guy, McLeod Law, these are the people you want on your side, on your team, working for you. McLeod-law.com is the website. Let's just play the video, because you'll pick up on it pretty quickly, I think, on this day in hockey history.
Chuck will draw the assignment against Becca. Our Chuck wins it in.
There you go.
Awesome.
1:26 remaining, September 15th, 1987. Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky. I mean, it's probably going in the net, but I mean, the hockey gods, or at least the Canadian hockey gods, you couldn't have had. You had the two best players of all time.
Was that Howard Chuck that tripped?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably a penalty.
Oh, I was sitting at mom and dad's in their bedroom, probably watching on a screen smaller than this. Jumped up and down, ran up and down the stairs. Oh, I still remember. So fond. Awesome.
Yeah. Canada versus Russia in the Canada Cup. Gretzky played with Lemieux, tournament MVP, 21 points in 9 games. Other than that, they were just okay. Lemieux with his 11th of the goal clinches the championship. Very much, and again, I think for guys our age, yeah, it was, we were sitting at home somewhere watching on an awful screen that was maybe in color, but was very tiny, very small, but a huge, huge moment in Canadian hockey history. Brought to you by McLeod Law. Proud of their Calgary roots, a huge part of their long-standing client relationships. They know this city, they care about this city, and they care about the people in it, looking to make and share a positive impact on our city. They're committed to it, and they want to be committed to you. McLeod Law, good buddies of the program. Aussie Brad, how would you, again, for people that aren't super aware, and if you haven't been following, your wife thought that this was somebody we knew.
Yes, this is a close relation.
Oh, this buddy of yours. We've never met Aussie Brad. I don't know that we've not spoken even on a phone or anything, but he has been a listener, fan, I guess if you want to call it, of the show over the years, and now has really found himself in the fabric of this YouTube show, this show that we do now. You never know when it's coming. Aussie Brad might just pop into the old inbox, sharing a little something, and we're more than happy to share it. His last one was epic. He's really putting himself into a tough spot because
it is.
The bar has been set so high.
Yeah.
Now, I have no idea what this is today, but we have heard, and once again, our buddy down in Melbourne, the latest with Aussie Brad.
Boom, Pinder, Retro, Man Cave again, boys. Fucking unfortunate week for the Mighty Demons. The fucking Bills. They were shit too, Retro. Fucking unbelievable. Fuck me, fellas. Got to get back up on the horse this week. We're playing those fucking dirty, rotten cunts down here in Carlton. They're a bunch of fucking toothless cunts too. Their fans are fucked, just like Edmonton's fucking fans. They're fucking pieces of fucking cunts. Now listen here. We've got to get back on the horse. Demons, the squeeze, the wife. I know there's conjecture about fucking what's going on. I got a missus. She's a fucking Blues supporter. Fuck her. Fuck her. She can get fucked. The Blues can get fucked. We're going to get back on the winning train this week. I'll speak to you soon, Retro. Fuck her. Keep punching Blues. Got the fucking D's.
Got a boy. It's a lot of C-bombs this time. There's a lot of them in there.
A lot of emotion.
My missus. Fuck her.
Hate the Blues.
Now, we believe he's referencing Aussie Rules football.
Yes. Carlton. Terrible. Hate them.
We hate them. Yeah, they're like Edmonton. Yeah, we hate them. So.
Carlton Blues.
God. That man bats 1,000.
Home of the Baggers.
Give that man a key to the city. Yeah, he doesn't, he never disappoints. And I'm glad we saved it till the end because there's no beating that. There's no topping Aussie Brad. So we hope that you have a great weekend. We appreciate the hell out of you for being a part of what we do. Hockey season is right around the corner. We got some stuff coming, man. We're excited about it. Obviously, even though it's September and it's kind of hockey season, it's still kind of the dog days of summer and all that. But we turn the corner.
They beat Melbourne.
Oh, no.
They beat Melbourne by 2 points. Most dramatic of circumstances, kicking the go-ahead goal with a minute remaining. I'm guessing to beat Melbourne by 2 points. My God.
Oof.
Somebody check in on Aussie Brad.
I was gonna say, send a sonar out to Australia and make sure we've still got Aussie Brad with us. But yeah, we're getting into October here very soon, and I know it's crazy to think about it, but before you know it, it's going to be home openers and season openers, and we got a lot of things planned. We're doing watch parties and trips and giveaways and stuff. So we are looking forward to getting into year number 2 of the program. And thanks to all the sponsors. Support the sponsors. It's how this thing works. Download the podcast. Tell your friends about it. Subscribe, like, do all that sort of stuff. We sure appreciate you. And it's kind of a Pinder-free week, we think, next week. So
might be a
really
Warner-free week as well.
A what? A Warner-free week. Yesterday it was Thursday, Friday.
Couple days, half a week.
Okay. Well, keep punching, buddies.
Plan accordingly.
Have a weekend. See ya.